Hey folks, it's Steve from Prima Coffee, and I'm here with Chris from Slayer Espresso.
Hey.
And today we're going to take a look at the Slayer single group espresso machine. This guy is one of their newest machines. It's pretty much the same thing as the larger 2-3 group commercial machines that you see, just kind of squeezed down into a much smaller form factor that's great for the home, great for catering, or any kind of like low to mid volume kind of an application that you might want a really nice Slayer espresso machine in. So what we have here is it's a pretty robust machine. It's a dual boiler. It's got a 3.3 liter steam boiler. It's got a 1.1 liter brew boiler with a 60 centimeter preheat coil. So all the water coming into the brew boiler is passively heated from the steam boiler's heat. So it's really temperature stable. The brew boiler does have a PID on it, so you have electronic temperature control, and the steam boiler also has a pressure transducer, which allows you to electronically control the steam pressure as well. Up front, we have the Slayer version 3 group head. It's a 3-stage group where you have pre-brew in the middle, which is a low flow rate stage, and then full pressure brew over on the left. So you can kind of change how much water is actually hitting your puck and at what pressure during your brews. So let's take a look at the inside. There's a lot of really fun things that are going on inside the machine, including Slayer's patented needle valve. So Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
About the needle valve?
Yeah,
for sure. So first what we're looking at in the back is the steam tank. That's the 3.3 liter steam tank Steve was talking about. The brew tank is actually tucked underneath this metal hood, but most significantly for sure is that blue knob which controls the needle valve. The precision needle valve is used to determine the flow rate during that pre-brew stage. So when you're in that middle position, moving the actuator to the middle, water is actually being directed through that needle valve, and that's the restricted flow rate that we're striving for here. What it actually allows us to do, so the purpose of that, is to grind coffee really, really fine. So by first really slowly and evenly saturating that fine coffee during the pre-brew phase, we can later go full flow, full pressure, and there's not as much resistance. We can grind super fine, and that's sort of the essence of what we're trying to do by including that technology in our machine.
Right, and the needle valve is adjustable, so you can set whatever flow rate you desire. So,
of course.
If you find that certain coffees like a little bit longer saturation time with a slower buildup in pressure, you can adjust it. You just take off the top tray here, reach back, give it a little tweak, and you can adjust it from there.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's the sort of thing that you change for coffees based on their density or their age or all sorts of factors, but it's really just a simple lifting it up and changing it just once for that coffee. You know, you're not manipulating that during the actual brew process or from minute to minute, but just basis on every coffee that you throw in.
Exactly, yeah. So, apart from some of the technical features, the fun stuff under the hood, obviously we have a nice single group head here. We have these beautiful bottomless portafilters with a basket that holds about 18 to 20 grams. These are 58 millimeter. You can't see it under here, but we have the new Teflon coated dispersion screens which give you a really, really great shower. We also have the sort of barista mirror here so you can watch your shot progress. A lot of really great features, little small things that add up into a really awesome user experience. Obviously, some beautiful wood accents. This is the Peruvian walnut, and you can customize all this kind of stuff too. You can get different woods, you can get different paints and finishes, so you can really make these machines your own. We have a nice fully articulating steam wand here with a lot of power to it. This will rival pretty much any commercial machine. It's got a 4-hole steam tip on it. These actuators are kind of a joy to use. They're really easy to use. And we also have a hot water wand as well, so you can make your Americanos, make your teas, that sort of thing, tapped right into the steam boiler. And again, you have 3.3 liters to work with, so you got a lot of steam pressure, and you got a pretty sizable amount of hot water to work with as well. So it's really gonna keep up with the pace of your drink production absolutely easily. Now, the controls of this machine, again, we have a lot of electronic settings that we can use, so temperature, that sort of thing. And all of these controls are done through a touch screen on the back panel here. So we have a nice little blue readout and 3 touch zones. So I'll let Chris kind of explain what sort of settings we have here. So why don't you take us
for sure.
briefly
So,
through and walk us through.
just on the idle screen, before you even jump into what the menu can do, you're seeing a few things: brew temperature, steam tank pressure, time and day. As you start to brew, you'll also see some timers kick in. So pre-brew timer begins once you're in that middle position, the restricted flow rate position. That timer pauses and a new one starts once you increase the flow rate for the full extraction phase. And then they both pause and hold on for 30 seconds or so afterward, just to keep your memory there. But you can also dive into this menu and make some pretty cool changes. So that's done first by tapping just in the circle right there. It'll tell you to swipe below. Everything from here is controlled just by swiping like that. I can tap in, I can adjust the brew tank temperature up in 10th degree increments, save it just like that. I can swipe to the next thing, brew pump pressure, all sorts of stuff. A few other really cool things we have in there are an automated backflush cycle, so I can tell the machine to do the full cleaning process itself. Just put the soap in and it runs those cycles over and over again. There's also a power up schedule, so you can tell the machine when to be on, when to be off based on the day of the week, and a couple of schedules within that just to make sure that's really optimized for your own use. So that's all control right there in the menu, which is the touchscreen interface with sensors underneath the screen for swiping. The circle button right here, obviously, and arrows illuminate when you need them to make those little adjustments. You can also save all that and kick out of the menu by moving the actuator, and it just bumps you right out and hangs on to what you were doing.
Now, another nice feature that you'll find in those settings is the pre-brew timer, which allows you to, rather than manually control your pre-brew by just sliding the pedal to the middle position, instead you can throw it all the way over to the left, and the machine will take care of the rest. You can program in the pre-brew time that you want for your desired shot. So let's say you're dialing in a coffee manually by, you're doing fully manual paddle movement yourself. But then you want your staff or your baristas or your wife or something to be able to brew the exact same coffee that you just did. You can program that into the pre-brew timer and then just have them throw the actuator all the way over to the left. It will run through the pre-brew cycle, then into the brew cycle, and then all you have to do is move the pedal back to the right when your shot is done. Getting down to the sort of the real issue here is like, what is a Slayer shot like? What makes this a unique brewing experience that other machines can't really come close to at this point? Obviously, we have the pre-brew setting and the brew setting, so that's a little bit like pre-infusion in other machines, except that with the needle valve, we're restricting the flow rate, which gives a really soft saturation of your puck. And as Chris stated, that allows you to use a lot finer grinds and get a lot higher extraction without running into over-extraction territory. So you can get some really full, well-rounded extractions, really great flavors, where normally you'd kind of have to wrestle with getting good flavor while getting the highest extraction you can. So this makes it a little bit easier to get into that high extraction territory with really good tasty shots. Now, to do that, you don't have to just go pre-brew, brew, and shut it off. You can actually play with the two different brewing settings here. So let's say we want a little bit more acidity in our shot. We can kick it right over to full pressure at the very beginning, then back down to the low flow in the pre-brew mode, which allows the pressure in the puck to taper off a little bit. And then after a few seconds, you can kick it back up to full pressure, finish your shot, and you should have a little bit more acidity because you accentuated the extraction right at the beginning of the process when those acids are coming out. And again, you can kind of modulate back and forth to play with the pressure that's in your puck to get different flavors and sort of highlight what you're looking for out of your blend or your particular coffee. But so all in all, this is really sort of excellent commercial quality machine. It's perfect at sort of like a high-end home setting. If you really want to treat yourself to a great espresso every day. Yeah. But it's also, it's perfect for those lower to mid-volume cafe settings as well. And it's going to brew like a champ. You have this, it's a plumbed-in machine. It has its own internal gear pump, and a nice, good quality drip tray with tons of capacity and a plumbed-in line. So really, this is a fantastic commercial style machine that's going to change a lot of the ways that people kind of think about espresso extractions, thanks to the technology that's built in. But that is the Slayer single group espresso machine, a brand new product here on Prima Coffee, and one of the newest products from Slayer Espresso, handmade right here in Seattle, Washington. So thank you very much for watching.